First, begin by removing the number 8 3/8" hex head screws from the cabinet cover. We recommend a 1/4" hex nut driver. Once removed, carefully clip the zip ties holding the wires with wire cutters. Next, remove screws number 4 and 5 from the top of the transformer with your Phillips head screwdriver. Prior to removing the polarity board, you can use the slip joint pliers to remove the outside 10-amp breaker. This isn't necessary, but can conveniently offer more accessibility for the board removal and replacement. Next, disconnect the black wire and negative lead from the board's relay by removing the gold chair connector from the relay. Discard the chair connector. Now, remove hardware from all 4 corners of the board using the flat straight screwdriver and 5/16 wrench. Next, move to the other side of the cabinet and use your flat straight screwdriver and 5/16 wrench to remove the top 2 screws and loosen the bottom 2 screws of the black heat sink with the rectifier. Now, from the top left corner of the rectifier, disconnect the blue wire on the board's relay. Next, take the flat straight screwdriver and remove the screw holding the red wire from the board and the positive lead. Now you should be able to completely remove the old board. You can now hang the heat sink and rectifier on the bottom 2 screws until needed. Next, mount the new board using the same hardware and tools as before. Be sure to reuse the plastic spacers when mounting the new board. Once the new board is mounted securely, connect the negative lead to the board below the blue relay box next to the blue wire. Next, remove the nut above the gold resistor below the top left mounting screw of the board and connect the black wire from the AC indicator light using the 5/16 wrench. Now you can reconnect the 10 amp breaker in the corner of the cabinet with the pliers. Next, move back to the opposite side of the cabinet and slide the heat sink and rectifier out. Connect the red wire from the board in the positive lead back to the bottom right corner of the rectifier using your flat straight screwdriver. Now, take the blue wire from the bottom corner of the board and connect it to the top left corner of the rectifier. Be sure when reconnecting the wires from the board to the rectifier that you run the wires above the transformer, not below or behind. Now you can remount the heatsink to the cabinet using your hardware, your flat straight screwdriver, and 5/16 wrench. Next, connect the white wire from the board, the blue wire from the top of the on-off power switch, and the blue wire from the lower left corner of the rectifier to screw mount number 4 on top of the transformer using your Phillips head screwdriver. Now, if your model has a timer, take the blue wire from the timer and the yellow wire from the board and connect them to screw mount number 5 on top of the transformer with your Phillips head screwdriver. If your charger does not have a timer, take the blue wire from the bottom of the 10 amp breaker closest to the transformer and the yellow wire from the board and connect them to screw mount number 5 on top of the transformer. Finally, you can re-zip tie the wires over top of the transformer and replace the top of the cabinet with the screws and nut driver. Your enhanced -C board change is complete.